and the Anthony Stolarz conversation. We'll do that next here in the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.
Today's edition of the Locked On Leafs podcast is also brought to you by Indeed. You just realized your business needed to hire somebody yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other sites. Indeed sponsored jobs put your post at the top of the page and help you reach the right candidates fast. The last thing you want to be is in a bad spot where the pressure's on, and obviously every day without the right person can be a setback. That's exactly when Indeed sponsored jobs comes in handy. They make sure your post is seen by the right candidate right now. Now you can speed up your hiring process with a $75 sponsored job credit. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, Indeed, is all you need.
The Locked On Leafs podcast continues. Mike DiStefano, Dave Morisuti with you as always. And we're heading in training camp. Just one more sleep, ladies and gentlemen. And the Maple Leafs get back to Toronto. And well, I'm sure they're all back in the city by now. But they'll be back. There'll be media sessions to react to. We'll get to hear from Austin Matthews. We'll get to hear, from Matthew Nyes, William Nylander, Tavares, the whole crew, Morgan Riley, who apparently is in, quote, the best shape of his life. You hear that a lot these days, right? Usually from the veterans. I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. All right, well, we'll see. We'll see how it works for you. I've heard that before, and typically it turns out the exact same way. I'd imagine Anthony Stolarz is in pretty good shape coming off the summer and heading into a contract year, a platform season for Anthony Stolarz. And I asked you before we went to break here, Spencer Knight getting $5.83 million AAV over the next 3 years. Would that have impact? Like if you're Anthony Stolarz, his agent in his camp, if you're looking around the league and saying, hey, that guy's making that much money and I am way better than him. I've put up far better numbers than him. Are you concerned that this contract that Knight got could impact what Stolarz's ask could be on an extension?
Well, what it just does is just adds another comparable in terms of this is what this guy signed for. So how can you justify giving me this much?
Yeah,
that's what it comes down in any negotiation. Comparables and what the current market dictates always comes into play. I get it. Spencer Knight is a 25-year-old. Anthony Stolarz is a 31-year-old. But guess what? Anthony Stolarz had a way better season than Spencer Knight, and also played.
He's better. He's been better. He's proven at the NHL level.
Right. So there is that. Now, looking at the contracts and looking at the goaltenders that would hit the market if the season, like at the end of the year, if all these guys were to get to free agency, it's not there's not many goaltenders hitting the open market as much as people think. Jacob Markstrom, but we're talking about a 35-year-old Jacob Markstrom. Sergei Bobrovsky is going to be 37, right? Stuart Skinner and Philip Gustafsson are the only ones that are kind of like in the prime years, but we know what the deal is with Stuart Skinner and whether you can't trust the guy as far as you can throw him.
Yeah.
The goaltending market ain't great. There's a lot of leverage for these goalies right now, and I think this is probably why the Leafs are trying to get this deal done now, because they do not want a situation where Stolarz gets closer to free agency, and the closer you get, the closer you're thinking about, okay, maybe I just want to give this a shot.
Yeah, you would think that, and obviously, the Leafs and Stolarz might have been close. Like apparently, there has been ongoing discussions with the two parties, and maybe they were close. But I wonder if Knight's contract makes Stolarz's camp kind of step back and go, oh, were we underselling ourselves? Were we underselling ourselves here? Like, because when we discussed a potential Stolarz deal a year ago, we're thinking, or not even a year ago, like a month ago on the podcast, we're talking about, okay, well, what's the deal look like for him? Maybe between 4 and 5. Like, he's still a tandem goaltender, not a starting goaltender, I guess. And tandem goalies look to make around, between 4 and 5 million as like a 1A type of guy. But like now Spencer Knight's contract, like I don't know. I guess the Chicago look at Knight and say, you're a 60-game starter year in, year out, and that's what we're paying you to be, and that's what we expect you to be at 5.8, perhaps. And if you're Toronto, you're going to make that case. Like, well, Knight's going to play 50, 55 games for the Blackhawks. You're going to play 40, 45 and be in a tandem. So, we can't pay you true starters money. We got to keep you in that, tandem range. I don't know if that's going to fly with Stolarz' camp after they see this type of money get thrown out for a goaltender that's not as good as Stolarz. But I do wonder if this could have some impact, and maybe the Leafs will have to pay up a little more than they wanted to, say, maybe a month or so ago.
Yeah, and this is the risk that's involved in any sort of these deals, right? Where, oh, why couldn't we have signed him earlier before it went up? Well, two sides have to be motivated to get a deal done, right? My concern always is with goaltenders is term, how much term you get them.
Yeah.
Because we've seen so many long-term deals handed out to goalies, and they not often do they say, yeah, that deal was a slam dunk, right? And so, I mean, we just saw Carey Price get his deal dealt to San Jose. The guy hasn't played since 2022, technically.
Yeah.
Like, you're paying Carey Price whatever you're going to pay Carey Price, but like the long-term ramifications of deals is goalies it's a tricky position to have to pay exactly what they want, but also trying to keep the term fair for both sides. And I think that's probably where the Leafs are right now, is what's the right term to give a 31-year-old when you've got a guy like Joseph Woll potentially in the wings, and you're maybe hoping that one of your other goalies that you're trying to develop right now, and Peksa and Akhtiamov, can they be like, you got other younger ones here that maybe can go into something there. So I think the Leafs are in a position where, yes, they have an abundance of goaltenders, but when you got a guy like Stolarz who put up the numbers he did last year, that's the reason why you made the playoffs and finished first in your division. You had really good goaltending. And if it's just that the injury last year with the knee injury, you always have to be wary of those things. That's my only concern with Stolarz. It's not the production. We know he can produce. Can he stay healthy? That's what it comes down to.
And he was a dog in the playoffs. I mean, he was the game one starter for the Maple Leafs, right? Ended up playing 7 games, and he got hurt, unfortunately, and that was a big turning point in the series. But he had 219 goals against in the playoffs, right? You look at his stats from last season, he led the league in save percentage, 926 save percentage, a 214 goals against average. Only played 34 games, sure. So that he did not play as many games as Joseph Woll. So that is something to consider, a smaller sample size. But you would think that he would like to play 40 to 45 this year, potentially, depending on who gets the hot hand more often. But yeah, he's proven to be the better goaltender between him and Spencer Knight. Even look at the last 4 years, he's had a save percentage north of 917 or better in 3 of the last 4 years. So again, that's as a backup and as a tandem goalie. So it's not necessarily as a true bona fide number one, but when he's playing, the guy's playing, right? The guy's got some pretty good stats. Actually, you can go back to 5-6 years. Last 6 years, he's had a save percentage north of 917 in 5 of the last 6 years. So he's proven at the NHL level